Shit, I just realized my mic was off. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crash Bandicoot. This is my New Year's Eve, Insane New Year's Eve. That's what I'm calling it. We are going to be going through all 3 games of the Crash Bandicoot trilogy, and we will be doing them in order, one by one. So we will be doing Crash Bandicoot 1, and we will be 100%ing it. I will say, no relics. And then we will be doing Crash Bandicoot 2, and then we will be doing Crash Bandicoot Warped. As a little bit of tidbits, I have done one on the channel before, but that was back before I started archiving it. And I have done 2 before, and that one, you can find the original PS1 version on my channel over at Revenant Wings Plays on YouTube. That being said, I have never done Warp before, so that will also be new to this channel. That will also be new, both for the Twitch and for the YouTube, which I will be posting all of these 2 later. But yes, for right now, this will be our first official stream, what might hopefully be the first official stream of the new year. Also, if you haven't noticed already, I have done some neat little upgrades. I now have a screensaver, which will now also be my pause screen, and I got some music. I got a whole bunch of stuff from Argo Fox, wonderful place, royalty-free music. I do have the Creative Commons license. I should hopefully be posting a list of the music I got soon, because I have not figured out how to do that yet. This is still kind of a work in progress thing, so I have the music now, but that's cool. And I now have the screensaver, which is also cool. So yeah. Alright, the fireworks are already going outside for me, so let's get going. And as I said before, I will be doing 100%, but I will say, right now, not the relics. That's the one thing I'm not doing, because the relics are maddening if I don't have to do them, if I have to do them for 1 and 2. And you know what? We'll do this kind of quick. We'll see how far. Let's see how far we can get into the trilogy before New Year's, accepting a 15-minute break or so after each game. That's how we'll do this. And obviously, I will have to probably take one after the ball drops, or during the ball drop. Because yeah, we're still 4 hours in, but we're 4 hours before New Year's, but celebrations must continue, and yeah, I gotta be out there for the ball drop, but yeah. Okay, yeah, I can go back the other way now. Come on. I love this series. I am not playing the PS1 because, one, the PS2 that I have is a little bit shaky, so I usually like playing the Insane lately. I still have them, and I might play, like, another one of these later for authenticity's sake, having it back on. But, this is just way easier for me. So, because I'm not dealing with an old PS2, and I'm not dealing with old discs. 1 is liable to freeze on me very frequently lately, and so is 2. Playable, but I have to be really careful and not, like, press it to going real quick. Otherwise, it's a pain in the butt. Don't like it. Actually, my most common problem ends up being with 2. 2 always was the one that had a problem, and that was including in my, when I used to play this over at my cousin's house. They were the ones that actually had 2 first, and I think their copy of 2 is the original one, whereas I have, like, the greatest hits version or something like that. So, theirs was the one that actually did it first. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna wait. There we go. I do not claim to be speedrunning this. Neither do I claim to be very good at speedrunning. The last time I tried to joke about seeing how fast I could do Crash Bandicoot 2, probably was my longest time running that game as yet. There we go. Whoa! Hi there. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I've explained this once before, but I'll explain it all over again, in case you haven't watched the other series. I basically grew up with this game. This is the first game, as far as I know. I'm only like 2 years... I think it's 2 years? It's like 2 or 3 years behind. I'm only like 2 or 3 years ahead of this game. I was born 2 or 3 years later this game came out. That's how that worked. This game is very... This series is very dear to my heart. It was one of the first games I ever played. One of the first games that I ever had reasonable experience with. Is this on? I totally don't know if I, like, turned this off or not. There we go. We're good. I'm new to this. I have to scroll up and down my sound things. yeah, so, but yeah, this is very dear to me. I've basically grown up with the series. The PlayStation was not the first that I've ever... was not the first console we technically owned, but I've been playing Crash Bandicoot basically since the year it was released, because my cousins had it, and I was basically close enough to that family. It was almost like... to that part of my family that it was almost like having brothers. I had 3 cousins, and we were basically over at my aunt's house all the time. So... oh! Oh, at least I wasn't... at least I don't have to worry about, like, boxes or anything for this one. I have to come back later with a gem. Got that. Okay. And that's another reason why I'm not speedrunning, because, yeah, I die. I expect quite a few more deaths. I expect quite a few more deaths. There we go. Oh, God, I almost fell over on that one. Ah! There we go. Make in. There we go. And in. There we go. Yeah, I will say one of the reasons I'm not doing the Rolex, there are 4 levels that are maddening, and if I were to try and do that, we'd be here all night. Specifically for the first one, I'm thinking of the High Road as one of the big ones. Sunset Vista always gives me a problem. Lost City always gives me a problem. And I think it's Slippery Climb. Lights Out and Fumbling in the Dark aren't technically too bad for me, but yeah, those are the ones I will always just be like, nope, not even trying. There we go. Quick and easy, quick and easy. Actually, kind of interesting. I do have a couple of stories interestingly related to this. Not only was this the first game I ever remember playing with my cousins, I do remember the night we got... I do not remember the night we got it, but I heard from it later that this apparently is my family's favorite game. So even my whole family, my non-gaming family, enjoys this game. Specifically, we always go over on my dad's side of the family, and we would go over there for Christmas. I apologize also if there's noise. We have very, very loud family members over. You are more likely to hear that than the fireworks from me. There we go. So, we have my dad's side of the family doesn't really play video games. My uncle has a couple of old games on a PS1 that he used to like. My dad was mostly into stuff like the Gran Turismo series. My aunt never played video games before, as far as I know. And of my cousins, I think the one who probably is closest to me is my... I have a cousin who's 1 year younger than me who has a Switch now. For reference, he is 26. I am 27, so yeah. We're the only 2 in the family who really play any video games lately. I think some of my older cousins do, but really, honestly, it's mostly me. So, the story that I had to tell was on Christmas Eve, the year that Crash Bandicoot was first released, night of Christmas Eve, my cousins got Crash Bandicoot for the PlayStation, as a Christmas gift. I think they had a PlayStation earlier, but I don't know if they, I don't remember what games they had, because the only one I can remember is, like, Crash. So, Crash Bandicoot, we all took turns. We used to go, my cousins and I used to do this thing where there were 4 of us, and the easiest way we could share the PlayStation was be like, all right, you get 10 minutes, you get 10 minutes, you get 10 minutes, and you just switch, and you keep track of whose turn it was and how long everybody's been playing. You had to make sure that once one's time was up, that they handed it over. Or, Crash was actually easy, though, because there wouldn't be a whole bunch of disc changing. You would just be able to play on this, and it wouldn't be like, oh, now you gotta have somebody else switch over. And especially because the password system was that was annoying as heck if you wanted to play a different game. But on the night of Christmas Eve, my cousins got Crash Bandicoot for the year it was released. And we took our turns playing it. And then, of course, we're young. I think at that point, the oldest one of us was 7? Yeah, my oldest cousin was 7 at that point. So we all go to bed because we now have to wait for Santa Claus. And my aunt's like looking at the video game and kind of like contemplating it and like, I wonder what makes them interested in this. Like, what is the reason behind their enjoyment of it? And she decided she was going to go ahead and pick up Crash Bandicoot for herself. Hey, Goober Slut, thank you. Nice to see you here. And I think you are referring to... oh yeah, Papu Papu. I'm kind of going by fast, so I apologize. I don't need to... If I don't need to do anything for a level right now, I'm gonna wait until I get the gem, so... Ooh, crap. Oh, but yeah. So my aunt was staring at the video game and was like, huh, I wonder why did they enjoy this so much? So she decided she was gonna pick it up, and Crash Bandicoot was the game inside the thing. According to her, we all went to bed at around 10 o'clock or something like that. All us little kids went to bed at 10 o'clock, and she picked up the game at about then. She played until 1 o'clock in the morning. And I think she said she got up to, like, Road to Nowhere or something like that. Before she had to call it. And she was, like, looking at the time and how much time she'd spent on there, just like, okay, yeah. If I do this, I will not be able to do any of my work because I will be up late at night. And, for reference, she is an early morning person. She is the she's that type of person who will, wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning and take a hike up a mountain that's, like, right next to her house. Not really a mountain, that's like a hill. But yeah, she'll go and hike up that hill and back down with her little dog every morning at 5 o'clock, and then proceed to go to work at 8. So she's an early morning person, and she's like, yeah, if I get this game, if I play this again, it will wreck me because I will not stop. I consider that a pretty good endorsement, though, because it's like, this is a person who does not play video games, and Crash was the thing that made her want to play for 3 hours, and was like the game that was like, I will ruin myself because I will just want to keep playing. Oh, goodness. I also will probably understand that, especially, like, compared to other games, like, 2 has been my favorite game for the longest time. But I realize that maybe compared to other platforms, I may be looking at it with some rose-colored glasses. Oh, geez. Okay, yeah, that one always, like... I don't know what it is. Like, either my timing's off on that last one. It just always... That's where I want to die. But apparently, made it through. Ugh. But yeah, like, I may be looking at it through some rose-colored glasses, because I absolutely adore this game. Even with the new one. I don't know, the nostalgia filter is able to let me forgive, like, even the worst travesties of the music in this. So stuff like, oh, I don't need these. I forgot. I need to go get that. Gem later, then I come back. I do want this. But yeah, like, there's some of these that, yeah, I'll completely admit they suck. I'll completely admit the tracks suck, but I don't know. Because I'm looking at it through something of a nostalgia filter, like, oh my god, I played this game all the time when I was, not exactly younger, but I played this game all the time, period. But because I got to start when I was younger, I do kind of look at it like, oh, I can kind of forgive the worst parts of it for still being a game that I adore. And overall, not changing too much from the original one. Though I will say, Sane Trilogy, do love the fact that that the jumping was fixed for the first one and the third one. Because I always thought the first one was a little bit too floaty on the jump mechanics. Whereas this is a much cleaner one. It should be noted, these are probably the most frequently played games that I have in my collection, just in general. Which also would attribute to the fact that I occasionally have, like, freezing and glitches appear on the old ones. there was a time in college when I was kind of, I don't know, depressed is the way I can best put it. Like, I had no idea what the hell I wanted to do for a living. No idea what I wanted to do in college at all. And a certain avenue that I wanted to go down, I was failing at I was failing at some of the classes. And I was typically a good student. I never got much lower than a C in most of my stuff. And then all of a sudden, I hit this period in college as, oh, crap. Whoops. I hit this period in college where I was just like, kind of lost, because I was like, oh, crap, I'm trying to do all this stuff, but I'm failing these classes. In particular, the event that made me kind of get into this depressed state where I was trying to do calculus, and I was always bad at math. I was always bad at the algebra root of math, and I just blanked on the final exam for that class, and couldn't do it. I basically probably would have gotten a 50% at best if I had done the whole test. Because I just blanked on the rest of the questions, and I already knew I was going to be getting less than that because of my atrocious performance on the other problems. But, so I just failed calculus, but calculus was one of those key things, like, that I had to do for, at the time it was a chemistry major. And so it was just like, this thing that I wanted to do, I wanted to go into chemistry, I wanted to go into pharmacology, and I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm sitting here lost, because it was just like, this avenue that I had been pursuing was just suddenly realized that I'm like, I won't be able to make this anymore. And I thought things over, essentially, and just started playing Crash Bandicoot, because I was just like, now pursuing other avenues in college and trying to find other things that worked. Like other classes, and looking through the classes that I had taken, and looking through the stuff that I had done, and trying to take other classes, and it was just like, terrible, terrible period. And I was probably that way for a good 2 quarters. But then in the middle of the 1 quarter, I picked up Crash Bandicoot, and I just started playing through it. And I wasn't able to play for long at that point. It was only like half an hour, either because I was just like, nothing interested me, or nothing was just like working at that point. But it was one of those things where I just picked up Crash Bandicoot and I started playing. Specifically, I picked up 2. And the way 2 worked out at that point was half an hour and I completed a warp room. So it was just like, okay, this is a good point to stop, and then I'd save, and then I'd go, and then I'd come back. Well, there's 5 warp rooms, and so I would complete it basically once a week. 30 minutes a day. Once a week I'd be completing Crash Bandicoot 2. And then I'm like, you know what? That was the only game. That's the only thing lately that's held my attention, so I'm going to come back to it. So the next week was me replaying Crash Bandicoot 2. And then, like, the week after that, I'm like, okay, let's maybe try 1 now. And then it was Crash Bandicoot 2 for 30 minutes, and then I'd play 1 for a little bit. And then the next week I introduced 3. And I think it was literally, over the course of my latter half of community college, I played Crash Bandicoot 2 something like 115 times. Can't believe I actually hit the checkpoint on that one. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 2 was 115 times over 2 years. Over 2 or so years. 1 was about half of that. I think that was about like 50-ish. And 3 was like 30 times. So yeah. I have played the Crash Bandicoot series more than any other game in my inventory, period. And those were all on the original PS1 too. So that was a whole lot of good grief. I've never played any game even close to that. Yeah. There was a point in my life where I was basically obsessed with this game. But it was one of those that helped me through a tough spot, because it was just like, I was playing it even then out of nostalgia reasons. It was just like, okay, let's just pick up this. I remember having a lot of good times with this when I was younger with my cousins, so... And you know what? It helped. I was able to get through that kind of period, and I was able to... It was kind of one of those things that brought me out of the funk after needing to re-examine myself and what I was going to do with myself after that failure. In that sense, that's actually another unintentional but nice segue, is the fact that as we're looking at the close of a decade, it has taken me 9 years to do community college. Not community college, sorry. It took me 9 years to get my bachelor's degree. 6 of those spent at community college, and 3 of those at a major university. So, in one respect, it's kind of funny because my entire decade was spent at school, but now I finally know what I'm doing with myself. Oh, Jesus, usually I time those bouncy crates so I know, like, when I'm supposed to jump off them. That one took me by surprise. Ah, the perils of talking while playing a game. I've probably died fair amount more than I would have at any point. But yeah, so I'm finally happy because I graduated earlier this year, so now I'm like, yay, finally I get to enter the workforce. Wish it wasn't New Year's because this year sucked for me. Aw, that's sad. Hopefully 2020 is a little bit better for you, though. I do sincerely wish that. Especially because, like, I realize it's probably been excuse my language, it's been a fuck of a decade. Hey, thank you for the sub. Oh, I skipped that T. DST even plays YouTube. Okay, it took me a moment to parse that because I was only, like, glancing at the phone. But thank you for the sub. Oh, that was not the right thing to do, though. Oh, no! Oh, my attention is diverted. Okay, let's see. I gotta time it when he's in the middle about to go over to the other side. Now. Nope, not it. Now. Oh, oh, jumping from the angle is not good. Okay. I swear I can get the timing on this better than this usually. Wow. Okay. Here we go. What is this, 5th time the charm? Now, let's try that. Oh, come on. Okay, let's try this one. That's better. There we go. Okay. Oh no, it's going away. That's not what I wanted. Okay, cool. It hit him on the... Okay, here we go. Oh, that probably would have worked too. No, it would have... You jumped out of the way quick enough. Okay. Every other boss is fine. This is the one that always caused me the most trouble. There we go. That's better. Okay, wait. Yeah, this is a good time to do this. Cool. And now let's try this. Nope, that'll be too late. Can I catch it? Yes. Yeah! There we go! Finally. That does not usually take me that long lately. It's still my least favorite on this particular game. The other ones I have almost to a science. Ugh. Oh, another example of me being somewhat obsessed with this game. I think I pre-ordered the Sane Trilogy like the day it came to the store. And which I think was also like, if I remember correctly, it was like 9 months before the release. Yeah, like I heard the Insane Trilogy was coming on like every single day I was checking the PlayStation Store, waiting for it to pop up on the pre-orders. Okay, cool. I thought that was going to be a little bit late for a moment, but... I love this series. This is just... This is also, like... For the non-gaming members of the family, this is the one that they all appreciate the most. It's actually hilarious. I was telling him, like, I got the Sane Trilogy now. It came out. I have it on the PS4. And they literally asked me, like, one time when my uncle lives in Northern California, and he was down, and he was like, oh, bring it over. And, like, I want... Because we're all interested in seeing, like, the new version and stuff. I was like, wait, really? And this included my 80-something-year-old grandmother, who were all like, hey, how about you bring it next time you come over? I'm like, oh, okay. So the next time I played it, I brought it. Next time I went over to their house, I brought it over and I set it up. And it was hilarious for me because we started from the beginning. We opened up a new profile and just started playing through the levels. And it's hilarious to me because it's like, not only did me and my cousins play it, but it was also like my uncle and my dad and my aunt that I was mentioning earlier were playing. We're like each trading off and doing a level. And my grandmother didn't play at all, but she was sitting there during one of the levels and was just looking at it with this intense fascination that I've only ever seen her do. I've only ever seen her have with, like, puzzles. She's really into, like, jigsaw puzzles. So if she ever gets a new one, it's opened that day. And it's happening that day. And she was looking at Crash with the same fascination I've seen her with those. And she's just sitting there, and her little 80-year-old self is going, go, Crash, go! And I'm like, wow, I did not know you were into this that much. But it was amazing. It was like one of those things, like, the family has come together over a video game, and this is something I never even thought was going to be possible at some point, at early points. I don't think they've ever really, like, derided video games. It's just, like, I've never seen them show interest in it. They're like, okay, you like video games, that's your thing, but yeah. The only person in my family that likes games. Yeah, I've got a really limited repertoire of people in my family that I can technically talk to about video games. Crash is the one that ignites all their interest, but any other game is just like, eh. Spyro for the younger members, and honestly, I think my uncle was at least into the first one. The original Spyro the Dragon, but I don't think any other game would hold the same fascination. Besides this, Dad kind of likes, like, Gran Turismo, and, like, he played the Red Dead Revolver and Red Dead Redemption, or the Ratchet and Clank series, but otherwise, he's not a terribly huge player. Like, 90% of my catalog, he has not touched at all. Okay, I really hate this one. I'll have to concentrate. Okay. Oh crap, no. Oh good. Okay, I think we're in the clear now. There we go. Oh. I will say, the old one used to be 10. It used to be every, you'd have to bounce on the crates 10 times to break them. Giving you 2 Wumpa Fruit and making you bounce on them only 5 times is kind of stress-inducing in situations like that where timing is crucial, otherwise you just fall into the abyss. Okay, I'm not even bothering to go back for those other ones because I'm gonna... If I die, that's not the gem anymore. There we go. Sweet. Okay, I got the green one, so I'm going to go back a little bit because I can now get a box gem earlier. Hi, innocent princess. Sorry, I was distracted because the end of that level. Welcome and thank you, and Happy New Year to you as well. It's actually not quite New Year for me. It's only about 8:40 on the West Coast, but yeah. Oh, not the timer. Not the timer. We're not doing relics. This one actually isn't too terrible in the relic front. I can usually get a... I usually get gold on this one, I think? I don't think I've ever gotten a platinum on this level. Give me... There we go. I usually do fairly decent at the time trials in this one. I usually get... My last time running through this game was 12 platinum and 14 gold. Although that being said, I think one of them... Yeah, generator room, I initially got a... What is it? Sapphire. So one lower. And then it took me like 4 or 5 times to actually run through and get the gold. Of course, it's also funny because there's some of those that I sweat like, oh god, am I even going to make the Sapphire time limit? And no, yeah, I... like my last run of Sunset Vista on this one, I thought I was going to be like, I would fall down this massive like pillar and thought, oh great, I'm going to have to restart so I can even get within the Sapphire or Gold time. So yeah, no, I got a platinum at the end of that one. But I'm like that. I overthink things way too much. So had I like checked the leaderboard thing and seen like what time the platinum was, I probably would have been fine and just been like, okay, never mind, I'm doing perfectly okay. I don't need to stress out over it that much, but... Oh.